You're looking at the very first galaxies ever assembled after the Big Bang. These ancient lights shone in the early days after the Big Bang. It was only thanks to the James Webb Telescope that we can see these photos. All this information is literally beyond our wildest dreams. When we hear about James Webb's discoveries, we often come across the term unveiling the secrets of the universe. And today we want to look at exactly what he was able to do in his first year of work. Yes, that's right, because we are talking about the first galaxies that appeared in the universe. Their study will help us understand how everything began. The universe is constantly expanding. So that means if we look at distant celestial bodies, we are actually looking back in time. This image shows the distribution of galaxies at various distances from us. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, is situated in the center. At least that's what we think. Around it, there is the local group of galaxies. And then there is the Virgo cluster. Beyond that lies the Great Attractor. But all of this is very close to us, relatively speaking. Scientists call the nearby area the local supercluster. It contains several tens of thousands of galaxies, but they are still very much in the neighborhood. But there are also galaxies at a distance of millions and billions of light years. When photons from those stars reach us, it means they have been traveling for millions or billions of years. For example, the GNZ11 galaxy is located 13.4 billion light years from Earth. It means its light has been traveling for 13.4 billion years. So when we see it, we are seeing it as it was 13.4 billion years ago. Since the universe began, many galaxies have changed dramatically. Some of them have moved, others have merged, some have disappeared altogether. However, the James Webb Telescope is capable of seeing things that no other telescope has seen before. And that's not just because it can see infrared light. The thing is that JWST can see objects that are incredibly far away. What would have been impossible for its predecessor, the Hubble telescope, JWST can do with ease. Here's a great comparison showing how Webb captures a much higher resolution image of the galaxy cluster. SMACSO723. It's not just that Webb's images are much clearer. You can also see things that are invisible to Hubble, and that's what we're going to talk about now. In 2022, astronomers published the results of the JWST's first year of operation. It turned out that the telescope managed to see hundreds of thousands of galaxies that existed only a few 100 million years after the Big Bang. That is, these are the first galaxies in the history of the universe. GLASS 1-3 became the farthest known galaxy whose distance was confirmed by Webb. Its light had a redshift of 1.5. The massive redshift means that the object is very far away. The light from the galaxy was stretched so much that the galaxy ended up being practically invisible to Webb. But even with all this, the telescope managed to get a really good picture of it. CEERS 93316 turned out to be another promising candidate for the title of the most distant galaxy that has been seen. After the release of this image, scientists immediately noted that the object is extremely bright. Moreover, it seems that the galaxy is already quite mature, although it is only 220 million years old. Scientists cannot explain this brightness. Perhaps the galaxy experienced a surge in star formation in the past, but this is already a completely new task for astronomers. They have to rethink many things now. What's more, scientists found that in the early stages of the universe, almost all galaxies were small. They were probably assembled from smaller ones. It turns out that modern giant galaxies grew up the same way children grow up who attended kindergarten. And then some galaxies merged together. It took scientists nearly 13 billion years to discover these processes. To find out what kind of a universe we once had, Webb's researchers have developed special computer models. They try to imagine how matter was distributed in the early stages of the universe. We must pay tribute to the scientists. They did an excellent job. Here's what the universe looked like 500 million years after the Big Bang. And here's what it was like 3.5 billion years later. Of course, these are just simulations. In fact, nothing like this has been preserved. However, they show how everything could have happened. Scientists have concluded that in those distant times, stars formed quickly and massive galaxies appeared even faster. In general, the early universe was very different from the one we live in today. There was a lot of gas there, but very little dust, and almost no heavy elements. Most importantly at that time, stars exploded one after another, creating the necessary conditions for planets to form and life to appear on them. This period of time is called the cosmic noon. Scientists assume that during this period, galaxies actively formed and developed. The stage lasted until 10 billion years ago. And today, galaxies are mostly dead. New stars hardly appear. However, scientists have no exact explanation for this. And here's where James Webb comes to the rescue. Once it spots the first galaxies that formed in the early stages of the universe, it will become clear what happened next. What caused the sharp decline in star formation? How did the chemical composition of the universe change? All this will help us better understand our world. What's more, the James Webb Space Telescope helps solve another important problem. For decades, scientists have been wondering why the universe is transparent today. As you may have noticed, space is almost black. Light freely passes through it and creates a beautiful view for astronauts looking out into the darkness. But it wasn't always like that. Once upon a time, there was almost no light in the universe. All the stars that exist today didn't shine. And the reason for that was hydrogen. It blocked all light in the early universe. But at some point, something happened that made the universe bright and allowed us to admire the beauty of space today. Scientists call this process reionization. It happened about 900 million years after the Big Bang. But what exactly caused it? James Webb's research has shown that reionization may have occurred in the vicinity of giant galaxies. Astronomers believe that these galaxies produced powerful jets that punched holes in the intergalactic hydrogen. But this isn't certain yet. Webb will soon check this hypothesis. Scientists are waiting for the telescope to take pictures of the epoch of reionization. It will be possible to see how light penetrated the thick walls of hydrogen. But to do this, we need to wait. And I don't mean just the coming months. Astronomers say that we will have to wait another 10 billion years for the universe to return to that state. But Webb will manage to do it. After all, this amazing telescope has already amazed scientists with what it was able to do in just 1 year of operation. In fact, this is only the beginning. We can expect amazing discoveries in the near future. The Webb will continue to observe the redshifted light of galaxies in the hope of finding the oldest of them. It will also look at the epoch of reionization. And then we will learn what exactly caused the universe to become transparent. In addition, the telescope will continue to monitor the formation of exoplanets and search for life on them. We know that Webb can see through cosmic dust. And that means that the telescope can peer into the hearts of nebulae, where stars are born. Scientists expect Webb to shed light on the processes that occur inside stars like CEERS. All of this is only for the next 10 years. Webb's contract with NASA says that the agency will fund its work for 10 years. Then scientists will decide whether to extend it or not. But we really hope that the telescope will keep working for at least 20 years. So let's wait and enjoy the fruits of Webb's work. We live in an amazing time. Every day we receive incredible pictures from space. Sometimes they seem unreal, but they are real. There's a huge telescope in space that's helping us learn more about the universe. And all we have to do is watch and wait. What do you think of these first images of the universe? What else would you like to see Webb's pictures of? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't miss out on our future videos. And remember, space is the limit.